Who wants this new deck? I want this new deck. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I'm talking about something different, something that I usually don't do, and that's like Link Vrains type stuff, which is weird, and I know. And maybe you're not into it usually, but this I think is just really cool speculation. It's something that's been interesting me a lot, and I think if you have been looking for possible new decks, you saw the three new decks that are coming out in the next deck build pack, and you're getting excited for those. I think it's just cool stuff to think about and get excited for in the future. It may hurt when you realize how long you have to wait for it, but still, if the hype is good enough, it'll last you the whole way. But anyway. Today I'm taking a look at a archetype that was fairly recently, revealed in the Link Vrains anime, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Link Vrains anime, which I guess this is a deck piloted by Lightning, which is a character in Link Vrains. It's one of the 6 Ignis. I guess there's one for each attribute in the game, and Lightning is the light one, obviously, and he uses a deck called Armatos Legio. Legio. And it's kind of based on I want to say Roman stuff, but whatever. It's all here, and we're going to go over it right now. All right. So if you're hyped, listen. All right. Armatos Legio is an archetype of light cyber monsters used by Lightning in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains anime. As their name implies, it's Latin for armed legion. Pretty cool. I like Armatos Legio better because it's not straight up armed legion. Armatos Legio are based on various warriors from ancient Rome, such as the Roman legion and gladiators. Their monsters have a distinctly humanoid appearance, to the point that some even appear to have flesh. Their design and playstyle of forming various battle formations with their comrades is possibly an allusion to the color white in Magic, the Gathering, which has a strong association with strength in numbers, beatdowns, human warriors, and reflecting their user light magic. So I guess it's just making a quick comparison to Magic here, using kind of like a beatdown deck that just kind of floods the board pretty quick, which I'm down for. I play Magic a little bit. Didn't like it as much. I think it's a much more simplified version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of. Maybe they're very different. I don't want to say simpler, but sometimes simpler is better. Occam's razor and all of that. But that's not what this video is about. So pretty cool. They set up battle formations with links and using the right zones for the right things. The playing style. Like other Cyberus archetypes, Armatos Legio focuses on swarming the field with lots of weak monsters in order to summon powerful Link monsters. More specifically, they focus on forming various battle formations with their comrades, which manifest as abilities such as the effect to sacrifice itself to protect other, whatever, protection effects based on where they're sitting on your board. The main deck monsters, although weak on attack, all have the ability of being able to give additional effects to Armatos Legio Link monsters that point to them, which is described as passing down their effects, which allows for solid battle formations both offensively and defensively with a wide array of effects, such as being able to destroy monster instantly without damage calculation, making the opponent unable to attack a specific monster, and being able to prevent destruction of a monster, which is pretty cool. And you can also destroy multiple face-up monsters and spell and trap cards instantly. That's broken. So there's a good amount of cards that have already been revealed for this. So there's 8 monsters and 2 spell cards, it looks like. And I'm gonna go through those real quick because that's just a quick overview reading of whatever. This is the interesting stuff. So I think they have 4 main deck monsters. Yeah. So they have 4 main deck monsters, 2 spells, and then 3 extra deck monsters. I believe that's what it is. So, first one here is Armatos Legio Magica Alchem, which is 0 attack, 1600 defense. All the main deck ones have literally 0 attack, all of them, which is fine because they're not meant to do it. You're summoning them in defense mode if you can special them. But Armatos Legio Magica Alchem says when he's summoned to a monster zone an Armatos Legio Link monster points to, you can activate their effect as if it were the effect of this card, which is weird. I don't understand that. Maybe it's just worded weird. Also, yeah, guys, keep that in mind too, as we're looking at these, some of these effects are going to be read weird because these were just translated from what they did in the anime, and obviously we all know that sometimes, you know, there's some cheating going on in the anime. They breaking rules. They got effects that don't make sense. Like, so keep that in mind. These might be a little weird. This is just people's interpretation of what the text would actually look like. I don't know what that even means. You could use their effect as if it were the effect of this card. So if I guess if your opponent would negate it and destroy it, it would destroy this guy instead. I don't know, but then again, then you'd want to use this card's effect. Because if an Armatos Legio Link monster that points to this card, that monster cannot be destroyed by a card effect the turn it was summoned. God, some of these effects are worded so weird, but yeah, so you can protect those from being a monster from being destroyed the turn it's summoned, which is pretty cool. Nothing crazy there. That's not one of the better ones. I think this one's a little better. If an Armatos Legio Link monster that points to this card, monsters of your opponent cannot attack other monsters except that monster. So they have to attack that one that's pointing to this guy. Okay. And then once per turn, if an Armatos Legio Link monster that points to this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So you kind of like floodgate your opponent, I guess, into attacking like a Link monster pointing to him, and then you can just protect that Link monster. So if your opponent doesn't have multiple attacks, you kind of have to force them to waste one at least. So it's a little lock. Still not great, but 1800 defense is not the worst there. Then we have Armatos Legio Seeker. You can only activate his effect once per turn if an Armatos Legio Link monster that points to this card battles with an opponent's monster, destroy the opponent's monster before the damage step. I like that one. That one's actually kind of decent. It kind of scares your opponent away from attacking you, and it kind of, it also can be used offensively. You can attack your opponent and just destroy your opponent's monster without even getting to the battle phase. Doesn't seem to target. We assume that. I mean, we don't know how Konami would nerf some of these effects because some of them do need to be nerfed. We'll get to those. These monsters don't seem to be that good. These three are both meh. This one's okay if he's part of your board. You can just destroy everything. It is a hard once per turn though. So that's the other thing is if he's on board, you can't just summon like 3 Armatos Legio Link monsters and just like attack pop, attack pop, attack pop, even though they're small. So that's kind of meh. It's okay. It's okay. And then we have this guy. This one's probably like the best one out of the 4. Armatos Legio Speculata. Level 5, which is interesting. 0 attack, 1800 defense. Okay, booty. You can special summon this card from your hand in defense position by sending an Armatos Legio monster from your hand to the graveyard. So if they're better, then like you would play them at higher numbers, and you could just discard a special amount. I kind of like that. That's cool. They also have value in the graveyard. They do have some effects that work from the grave, which is pretty cool. And a lot of decks like to play cards like Monster Reborn, Soul Charge, and this card kind of like gets that rolling pretty quick turn 1. That's cool. I'm into this card. This one's the best one out of the 4 for sure. It's still not great though. The monsters are the worst part about this. So obviously Konami need to make those better for like us and not Link Vrains, because some of the stuff in Link Vrains is like they don't use like optimal decks. Obviously, it needs to be good for like TV, so they can't just use like the best everything. It'd be like watching real life matches, which like the normal viewer wouldn't really be into. But anyway, the first of the broken cards is this field spell. This field spell is pretty damn good. When this card is activated, add an Armatos Legio card from deck to hand. Busted. This card is insane. This card is so good. Yeah, we know it. We've seen it. The decks that play this like all have like a huge buff and consistency. So this card, like we've seen Trick Stars. This would have to be a hard once per turn. Any field spell that searches like this on activation, it needs to be a hard once per turn. Because we've seen what Trickstar Light Stage breaks that deck and how. So this would have to be hard once per turn. If you link summon an Armatos Legio Link monster, you can send 1 Armatos Legio card from your hand to the graveyard. Then target Armatos Legio monsters in your graveyard that equal the summoned Link monster's Link rating and special summon them in defense position to your zones that Link monsters point to. Okay, so at first I thought this meant you had to pick different link monsters that totaled the link rating of the card. So if you summon the link 3, you could special like a link 1 and a link 2. But this actually just means straight up monsters. Doesn't matter. It's a number. It's target a number of, because it specials them in defense mode. So you can't special summon the links actually, because like you just can't. But this is actually insane. This feels so busted, because you literally could just make a link 2 and then special summon both from the graveyard. Both the monsters you just used to make it. Especially if you make the link 3, that you just special 3 straight from the grave. Insane. Insane. Whew. So this card is really, really important for the strategy. You can see why it's broken. It's such a good extender. It searches, it stays on the field, and then every time you link, I'm assuming that would have to be a hard once per turn. That both of them would have to be hard once per turns. But yeah, card's really, really good. Another interesting card. This was a really interesting card to me. It's a continuous spell, and when this card is activated, you add one spell from your graveyard back into your deck. So you just shuffle a spell back into your deck, which is interesting. I don't know exactly why or what you would do this. I guess it's gonna be general. If you have one-ofs that are really powerful and you want to get them again, I don't know. I have no idea what exactly you would really want to shuffle back into your deck, but hey, go for it. Then add an Armatos Legio monster from your deck to your hand. I'm assuming that's card, maybe not, or monster. It could be either, but that's pretty cool. It is on activation, so you can only do it once, and then it says there's not once per turn. At least in this, in this version. Then the other effect while it's face up says that both players control monsters on the field, and an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, negate the attack. I guess that protects you from Lilybell, Trickstar Lilybell, but like no deck really, like Hayate, Lilybell, weird poking strategies, but those aren't really usually the focal points. Except for Trickstars, this can't actually put down the Trickstars pretty well. Negate that attack, and then once per turn you can also tribute one Armatos Legio monster to draw one card. A lot going on here. I think the search is okay. I mean, all you gotta do is shuffle back a spell from your grave, to search. Not bad. And then the other effects are weird. I don't know how often those come up, but hey, it's searching. It's a consistency. And then we move to the 3 link monsters the deck has, which are really interesting. So it's a link 1, a link 2, and a link 3. The link 1 says it's a link 1. It takes 1 Armatos Legio monster, 1000 attack. Link 1 takes Cyberse Link effect monster down, points straight down. The light as well. If an Armatos Legio Link monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, except this card, so if a different one, you can destroy this card instead. So, I mean, nice little protection effect. But I feel like most of the time you're using him as just kind of a benchmark. This is there's probably like basic combos that use him and the field spell, where you literally, because they don't seem to have monsters that flood the board too much, so you literally just like normal summon one, link it into him, use the field spell to special summon the monster you just linked away back to his zone, and then you can make the link 2 or do something else. I don't know exactly what, but that seems to be like a pretty basic like little combo there. Second monster is Armatos Legio Centurion. Takes 2 Armatos Legio. I like that they're locked into it. You can't just take any Cyber monster because there is good Cyber support, but like generic, like Cyber spam the board monsters that you cannot use here, which I kind of like that. Because you're supposed to be using like an army. This is supposed to be like a Roman army that fights together. So you shouldn't really. I feel like it would be weird if you had just weird, random, good monsters in a deck like this. But this one says, it has 17 in attack, so decent. Link 2. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on an Armatos Legio monster, you can target the attacking monster and negate that attack. Straight up, just negate an attack. Okay. This effect can only be used once while this card face up on the field. So nothing crazy. He also points side to side, which is something weird to know. He does not point down in any way. So usually, I'm guessing you don't really want him in your extra monster zone. So that's a little awkward. But I'm sure if you can like make the guy pointing down to him and then summon him underneath, then you're really rolling because you've got even more zones opened up. 2 more there. And then the big guy is Armatos Legio Legionis. Oh god, I'm sorry about the pronunciation troubles, but yeah, he's only 3 and he's busted. He's 2400 attacks. He's pretty big, and he said you can send one card this card points to the graveyard to destroy all face-up cards in your opponent's monster card zone and spell and trap card zone. What? 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 Alright, this card would easily be nerfed. There's no way Konami could just print this card. It's just a Link 3. It's not even like that insanely high, like a Link 4, Link 5, or whatever, the first Link 5. Or not, actually, there are other Link 5s, but they're like prize cards, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, this card is interesting for that. It also says, quick effect, once per turn you contribute an Armatos Legio monster you control, except this card to special summon an Armatos Legio with a different name from the graveyard. That does not restrict Link monsters, so you literally could just like use the Link 2 to climb into him, and then you tribute an extra, like just a regular monster to summon the Link 2 back, and you have just a higher Link monster there. So pretty crazy that he just Raigekis and Heavy Storm Dust or Harpy's Feather Dusters the board together at the same time. That's insane. I'm sure there would be a nerf to this guy's effect, but I think he's cool too. I don't remember. I saw like small clips of like some of the combos he did, but I mean, it's the anime. He didn't do anything crazy, but the deck does really cool things. The field spell is probably like the best card in the entire archetype. So that would definitely have to be probably nerfed a little bit, and they definitely would need better main deck monsters. This one's okay. The rest are like super meh. But yeah, I think it's a really cool deck, and I hope it's here in the future. I hope we get it in the next year or whatever. It comes out in like a main set or something. That would be really, really dope. Because I think they're just like too cool. Like, who doesn't like the idea of like Roman soldiers and gladiators like forming battle formations on your board? Like that's like such a cool idea of integrating lore of an archetype with like Master Rules 4 and like the development of like the board being more intricate with like the Yu-Gi-Oh field being more intricate. So I think that's really, really cool. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are excited to play this deck or not. If you think this deck will be poison or whatever, terrible, let me know. I mean, you can say you don't think it'll be good, but like if Konami decides to release this in like actual Yu-Gi-Oh, they'd have to like change some of the effects and stuff, make some of the cards better, nerf some of the cards, like wiping the entire opponent's board, like black rosing your opponent without even having to give up your monster. So they have to look at that, but other than that, I think they're really cool. So if you enjoyed this video, I know, oh god, subscribe for more stuff from me, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I do it for you. I do it for the peoples. I do it for you. Alright? Alright. I'm going senile. I'm actually going insane.